how I feel. It doesn't. If this is not a reflection on them at all. It's not a reflection on them, right? It's nothing to do with them. As it happens, they came out. They have ended up as amazing people in the world. They're very bright. They're very talented. They're good looking. They're healthy. They're lovely, right?
Content over everything.
But well, I'm not sure. Obviously, it might not be. Maybe they're yours. So, why did your parents have you? You don't know? Why didn't you ask them? Ask them. Well, yeah, but it's an interesting one. You should ask them. I think it's important to know why your parents had you. Well, Mr. Cameraman, why did your parents have you? What's that? Yeah, exactly. You come to Speaker's Corner, you put a big phallus in front of me. Yes, I know, right? You put a big phallus-like thing in front of me, and you won't even answer any of my questions. Come on, Mr. Cameraman. Why did your parents have you? Come on. You're just a DJ, right? Okay, that's an interesting answer. How do your parents feel about the fact that you're just a DJ? After all that effort. What about you? Why did your parents have you? No idea? Why do you think they had you? Do you have children? Why did you have... No, ladies and gentlemen, that is not a reason to have children, because I wanted one. Why did you want one? What do you mean I wanted one? But it's like, just like, well, I mean, yes, it's a reason, but it's not very responsible, is it? Do you know what I mean? No, it's not, because you're bringing somebody else into the world just because you want to. Well, firstly, I'll tell you what the problem is. I'll tell you there's a lot of problems. Yeah, why is that? Why is that? Yeah, why did you bring him into the world? Yeah, but that's not. But you're playing with somebody else's life. You're putting him through existence. Yeah, really? How old is he? Right. Well, you're going to send him to the State Young Offenders Institute? Are you going to send him to a Young Offenders Institute? A school. No, I'm not going to be calm. I'll tell you why I won't be calm. Because I'm not calm about the fact that children are sent to Young Offenders Institutes where they are taught to obey, where they are taught to study the things that they tell them to study, right? That's what you're going to put your child through, and you think that... Yeah, really? How many are you going to send them to a Young Offenders Institute? Yeah, exactly. Then we'll see. People have children because they want them. What on earth is that? Why do you want to have it? Why did you want to have children? What's the reason for it? For what? Well, you just wanted it like an ice cream? Or like a sandwich? You wanted it? You wanted it like a Ferrari or something? What do you mean you wanted it? Why did you want to have children? Why? No, I'm asking that you... I've already been through that. I had children because everyone else was having children at the time. All my friends and my family and my culture were having children, and therefore I did it without thinking about it. That's why. Not now. Now I wouldn't. No, and I wouldn't want my children to have children because I don't think I don't think there's any good reason to bring more human life onto the planet. It's the cause of all the world's problems. If these guys, for example, if I took a huge risk having children, I could have ended up with one of those guys as my children. Can you imagine? What terrible! That's terrible. What do you mean? So what? What? This guy here? What do you mean? Why? Yeah, exactly. And from my parents' point of view, they're disappointed with me because they brought me up a certain way, and I don't follow the way they brought me up.
We call people like you deluded.
What's that?
Deluded.
Deluded. What do you mean by that?
Why would you thank people for not breeding?
Why would I thank people for not breeding? Because by not breeding, number one, it's good for the environment. Number two, it's good for the unborn children so that they don't have to go through all this madness. Yeah? And number three, it's good for you and relationships and your ability to better the world.
Can I ask you another question?
Sure.
You said breeding, it will be good for the environment, yeah?
Correct.
So if we don't breed and we extinct,
Yeah.
what's the point of this environment?
There is no point for this environment, whether we do or not breed, if we go extinct or not. What's wrong with getting to extinct? What is the point? You tell me, what is the point of this world? What's the point? What's the point?
By my understanding,
Yeah.
by my understanding, first of all, you have to, I'm a religious person.
Okay, I'll forgive you. Everyone's got that. Everyone. So wait, a religious person just called me deluded. All right, note. Yeah, go on.
And I believe in a certain religion,
Yeah, which one?
Islam,
Okay.
and it tells us that we are a creation, that
Yeah.
we are custodians of this
Oh, right.
nature, this
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
we
And what's the
take
point
care
of it? And what's the point of it?
The point of it that we need to take care of it, we
Right.
need to cherish
That's
it.
not the point of it. That's just saying that's what we need to do. What is the frickin' point of it? Go on. No, go on. Yeah, go on. Yeah, so the point of it is to cherish it and take care of it. Which, by the way, let's have a look at Muslims. Are they taking care of it? I don't think so, right? So you're not doing a very good job anyway. But even if we were to agree that, well, Muslims and all people are not taking care of the planet, are you?
And all people.
Well, nobody's taking care of the
You mean
planet.
everybody?
Yes,
Just not Muslims
but you claim as a religious person that that someone told you read some books that told you that the purpose of life is to take care and be custodians of this planet. But that doesn't tell me the point of it. But even if, for a moment, let's assume that that's correct, whatever that means. Yeah, you're not taking care of it. That's number one. Number two, 1 minute. I'll come to that in a minute. Number two, that's not a purpose of this planet. There is no point in this whole thing. There is no point in this planet. What's the point of it? Have I had a bad experience?
Like there's no point of this earth.
What do you mean, have I had a bad experience? No, it's fair enough.
What is the purpose of your existence?
What's the
Tell
purpose?
me. Yeah, yours. Look, you're married. Are you married?
I am, yeah.
Why did you get married then? If you think that
Why did I get married?
Yeah.
Because when I got married, I was incredibly immature. I had no idea about anything.
So what did you learn now that you didn't know at that time?
What I've learned now is that bringing children. This is one of the things that I've
How
learned.
did
Is
you
that
learn?
bringing.
Teach us how.
How did I learn it? Okay, let me just. You ask me what I learned, then we'll get to how, right? What I've discovered is that nobody since I've been talking about this has given me a good reason why A, their parents had them, and B, why they would have children. So, for example, you, sir, why did your parents have you? What? Look at you. No. That's not an answer. I don't mind. I mean, it's an answer. But why did your parents have you? Seriously, why did your parents have you?
Why are you asking that question?
Why not? I can ask any questions I want to. Why do your parents?
are
No, it's an
stupid.
important.
You don't have to
It's
ask
not a
it.
stupid question. It's the most important question that you could possibly ask.
They want to have a child.
Yeah, but I know they had you because they want. But why? Why did your parents want to have a child?
They have
To please society.
Look at
What?
Please society.
To please society. That's bullshit. That's
Children are a burden.
ridiculous.
Kids are a burden.
Of course they
I
are.
am a burden to my parents.
Yes.
But they will never admit that.
Yes, of course
They
not.
love me so much.
Okay, fair enough.
But they will be a better, they will be much better.
Of course. Yeah. Thanks. It's all right. No, carry on. Are you being serious? Yeah.
Are you teaching
Thank
this
you.
to your kids and family?
Yes, absolutely.
What they think of you?
What do you mean what they think of me? But I'll tell you about my children, right? I have taught my children, both explicitly and implicitly, to take everything I say with a huge pinch of salt, right? It's fine. Whatever they do, they don't take me too seriously, and I don't want them to. Just because I happen to have sex with their mum, why should they take me any more seriously than anybody else?
So they're living in
Right?
this world. Just
They're doing whatever.
we came, we born,
What's that?
We grew up, we die. That's it, like animals do.
What is it? Is it any different than that? You claim that we're here to be custodians over this planet, even though you're
worship
not
God,
doing that.
to worship
Even
God.
though you're not
You
to
forgot that
worship
part.
God. Oh my God! Don't start with
that
that
part.
rubbish. Worship God. You what? Worship. Why do people worship the Creator? From my point of view, the Creator is an absolute. The Creator. I've only two explanations, right? And I'm open to the crowd. I want you, as of yet, I'm happy if you give me another explanation. There's only two possible explanations, actually three. One, that this whole thing was never created by anything. It just got here somehow, right? That's one possibility, which I find very difficult to believe, yeah? The other two possibilities is that the creator was either incredibly autistic or downright evil, right?
You can see.
Right? Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Because you explain yourself.
Yeah, okay, I'll explain myself, right? Yeah, go on. I'm saying the creator is either seriously autistic or evil. I'll tell you why I say that, right? Either when the creator created this whole thing, whether it was through the Big Bang or is still doing it now, right? The creator either didn't foresee what was going to happen. So an autistic, I don't have a great deal of knowledge about autism, but what autism does is you can have a very, an autism.
Let him talk.
Autism. One of the features of autism. One of the teachers. Please don't interrupt me. I'm trying to talk. Okay. Now watch. What I'm going to do now is in the presence of this type of heckling, right? This type of heckling. I know this type of heckling. There's only the one way that I know to deal with it, which is to invite all of us to just take 30 seconds out, right? I'm going to go quiet. I'm going to close my eyes, and then he's going to carry on with his stuff. Okay.
Me when I'm asking you a question. You gotta keep quiet when I'm
Go
here.
back to your place. Go back to your place.
No, because he's making information about something he doesn't know.
Well, he knows a
Why
bit
do you
about
talk
it.
about something
He knows a bit
that
about it.
You don't have knowledge of.
Well, he knows a bit about it, and it's related.
Because you are misleading the crowd. I might be somebody who doesn't know about, might be politics and all that. But if I talk about politics and I make mistake, I am ready to be corrected.
We're not
And
talking.
this man talking rubbish.
No, he's not talking rubbish. I'm
I
defending
will
him.
leave you, but I'm coming after you.
He's a friend of mine. He's not talking.
John, where are you going? John, come back.
I'm not heckling him. He's not talking rubbish, this guy.
Okay. So, as I was saying, one of the features of some forms of autism, of course, autism is a spectrum, right? But one of the features of autism is that you get there's some incredible genius. I think the creation is absolute genius, right? Whatever created this is obviously an unbelievable genius because it's so intricate and so brilliant. But one of the features of autism is that an autistic person is so focused on some particular thing, right, or aspect or idea, that they don't have the ability to see the bigger picture. So from my point of view, one of the explanations is that whatever created this was so focused on creating this, it didn't foresee that it was going to end up with that kind of thing, right? Or going to end up with governments, or going to end up with cancer, or going to end up with the high street, we're going to end up with McDonald's, right? Like, look, right? So the creator, whatever created this, was either autistic and didn't see that was going to end up like that, or did foresee it and said, well, let's do it anyway. I mean, seriously, what kind of creator would create a world with thousands of diseases? What kind of creator would create a world that ends up with people who are so nuts that they stand up there talking absolute and utter trash, and there are people, and then creates all the people around them that are getting off on some kind of freak show going on there, right?
As opposed to you.
Well,
That's supposed
listen,
that the creator
no, actually, yeah, okay,
takes
yes,
a human form.
yes, I am saying.
Takes a
No,
human
wait a minute. I listen. No, I would claim yes, as opposed to me. Yeah.
They want to create a song and dance. He's exactly the same as these.
Exactly.
That's fine. I don't mind. You're entitled to. You're entitled to whatever you. To say whatever you want, even if it is me as well. Fine. I don't deny that I'm nuts and I'm confused that's fine, right? So either the creator of this reality was autistic or was downright evil. Screwed up. Why create a world of pain? What's that? How about what? Oh, he's given a chance to everybody to exist. Oh, thank you, bro. And he's given a chance to everyone. He's given a chance to people to have cancer, to be poverty-stricken, to be mentally ill. He's given a chance of people to be screwed up by governments, to be put in prison, to be God knows what. I mean, you know, and by the way, it's not just humans. It's the whole of life that is messed up. Animals. Nature is horrible. Nature is dark. Nature is really, really dark. What goes on, this is just all an illusion. You look out and you think it's really lovely, but actually everything's munching on everything else, killing everything else, destroying everything else, competing with everything else, right? The whole thing, whatever created this, I mean, seriously, it's absolutely, why do religious people worship whatever created this? I won't worship it. Worship it? You joking? I mean, seriously, the creator, nuts. And that's why I say, and the biggest mistake the creator made was giving us all reproductive organs. What a stupid idea. What a stupid idea, giving reproductive organs to everybody.
Why not? Why not?
Good, that's fine. Do that. Yes. That's yeah, go and get yourself vasectomies, hysterectomies, do what you like. Yeah? But not to reproduce. Bringing more people into the world for what? 350,000 people born every freaking day. What for? What for? What?
They have to be controlled, you know. I don't want to be a pedantic and, you know, a stick in the mud. But that just means that these things that he's telling us have to be controlled by something that we all want to move towards, which has created this sort of evil type of malpractice and corruption, which is a society that's better.
No, life itself is faulty. Life itself is whatever created life itself created a crazy idea. We, for example,
extermination of life.
if there was a possible, but let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, right? Do you think if you could press a button and destroy all of life, yeah, all at once, yeah, I have heard a guy say, right, and I'll just put it out to you. I'm not sure what I would do, and I have a good idea, right? I've heard a guy argue. His name's Inmendham, and he's on YouTube. He's a very interesting philosopher, right? And he says that it would be absolutely a moral imperative to destroy everything if you could in one foul swoop, because you're going to put an end to suffering, a huge amount of suffering that there is all over the world, right?
To get out of these brothers' basement.
Okay. Listen, if you don't like
Right?
this word,
So let me ask the crowd, what would you do if you had a red button and you could get rid of it? Would you press it? Why not? What's that? Nothing. What's wrong with nothing? Nothing is wonderful.
No, not nothing. A better society.
No. Okay, I'll answer that.
A better society, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not heckling him. A better society is more optimistic based on what he's leading to. And what he's leading to, he wants us to stay and listen to him, which is good. But nothingness, no. We want a better society which will end corruption. I'm not saying that everybody's corrupt, but this society and we here, we don't like some of the stabbings, we don't like some of the malpractice, and we certainly don't like some of the corruption. Now that can mean that we stick together and get a better society. Now what's this better society?
He doesn't want no society. He wants to kill everybody.
No, I don't want to kill anybody, right? I'm not suggesting killing anybody, and I'm not suggesting. No, I'm not. I'm saying if there was, in theory, but there isn't, right? There isn't. What I am suggesting is a very serious questioning of the wisdom of bringing more life onto the planet. So we're going to go back to the question. Why did your parents have you? Start with you. Why did your parents have you?
Because they thought it would be because of my background being West Indian. My mother thought, she had a child in America, and I was like her sisters and her brothers. So it's cultural.
This is nonsense.
But I don't fully understand it myself.
Nonsense.
No, good. Okay. Why did your parents have you? What's that?
It's God-given thing.
No,
God-given thing.
No,
What does that mean?
No.
What do you mean?
It's all my
So why did your parents have you?
out of love.
Out of love? Really? Yeah. What, love for what? Love for who? Love of what?
You focus too much on suffering.
Oh, really?
Other things in this world. It's a love.
Why don't you answer the question? Why did your parents have you? You said love. Love of what?
It's a stupid
Sex,
question.
yeah. More likely.
Number one, the parents were not thinking to have you when they were having sex. They were just enjoying each other.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. A major disappointment, of course.
If your mother knew you were going to come here, you would not have.
You're right, of course. Absolutely. Why did your parents have you?
I want to hear you answer the question.
No, I will answer it. I've already answered it twice this morning. I will answer it
I
eventually.
wasn't there. I didn't
Why
hear
did
it.
your
None
Why
of these
did your
people
I
heard
will
you answer
repeat it
it.
in a minute. Why did your parents have
I
you?
want to hear you answer the
Why?
question
What's the big
first.
deal? I'm just another bloke. Ladies and gentlemen, I still have not heard one good reason why people's parents had them, or B, why they would have children. What do you mean it's natural? Yes, it is natural,
something
but
like
that's not a
that.
reason.
Something like that. Something like that. Yeah.
Why is that?
My parents have been for too many reasons. There's no one reason.
Go on, go on. Give me some of the reasons. Give me some of the reasons.
To make it, like, for too many reasons. Like,
Go on.
You cannot make it like just.
Give me some reasons. Give me some reasons. Give me some reasons.
Yeah, something like that.
To carry your family tree.
To make this world free from evil.
Oh, to make this world free from evil. How's it going? How's it going? Yeah? How's it going? How's it going? Have you rid the world of evil?
Make sure none of the Muslims are watching. Or a massive glass of cocaine. This would be. There's a guy that I
What
know
about animals?
over there who a friend of me once had.
No, we shouldn't be breeding animals either. They're also suffering. Yeah, I mean that's also
You're changing
mad.
the subject.
That's also mad.
Stick with humans.
No, I don't. I'm not saying we have to stop it. I'm just pointing out that they are also suffering out there. Loan to them. Yeah. Yes, it's natural. It's natural, and I'm saying whatever created this was somehow unhinged, or nuts, or evil, or twisted, or autistic. Whoever created this reality was I don't know. Whatever created it.
But you were saying he's a genius, whoever created this, right?
Yes, a genius, absolutely. Complete genius. Whatever created this was obviously complete genius, but also really twisted to create, because it created illness and suffering and pain and competition and destruction and eating and everything. What do you mean? I know it's what happens, and I'm commenting on it. That is not great. And we speak about mother.
What about the good stuff in the world?
Yeah, there's some great stuff as well, but it doesn't even it out. It doesn't. It doesn't.
No, he's right. No.
It doesn't even it out because
there's a slant. There's a slant.
Look, I wanted to say a couple of things, right? I kind of at the moment I'm into the idea of kind of paradoxically combining radical appreciation with radical pessimism. Yeah. So I as a person on this planet, I attempt to be radically appreciative of my life because I have an incredible life. I am incredibly lucky. I put myself in the top 0.0000001% of people in terms of every aspect of life, right? I'm incredibly lucky. I'm healthy. I've got 3 amazing, healthy, intelligent children. I've got a loving wife. I've got a really nice home, right?
So you can have children, we cannot have
What's
children.
that?
You can have children, we
No,
cannot.
I'm not saying I can and you can't. It's nothing to do with I can and you can't. I'm saying I'm radically appreciative of my life and my luck. But most people don't have that luck, right? And to speak about what's that?
It's our job to change that.
Well, yeah, yes, and the one way to change it, the sure way to change it, is just not breeding. And then there won't be any problems.
Breed them into a
Yes.
better place.
No, don't get me breed them into a better place. No. What's that? I have not got 2 kids.
You got 3.
I've got 3 kids.
You're a terrorist then, aren't you?
So
Oh, here we got another one. This guy's
so
a
you were-
professional.
so you were wrong
He
two
comes
times.
every week. Another one that comes every week.
In some organic
He come-
coffin this
he
week,
come-
and he's going to show us the way, aren't you?
He comes
With
every
a
week.
really
Just another one that gets
life.
off
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
I had my 3 children. I'd say the main reason why I had my first 2 is because part of my culture was reproduction. It was absolutely critical. As brought up as an Orthodox Jew, everybody around me, I was brought up as an Orthodox Jew, right? Everyone around me was having children. I'd never even met anybody who made a conscious choice not to have children until I was maybe in my 30s, right? So the reason why I had it is because everyone else was doing it, but that is not a good reason to have children.
Where's the
The reason
start?
why I had my third child was even worse than that. The reason why I had my third child is because I actually think that young kids are really, really gorgeous. I love like young kids, yeah? Which is a crazy reason to have children because they grow up into that kind of thing, right? That's how, and I could have ended up with someone like that if I was a bit less fortunate.
Well, you are
right?
like that anyway.
What's the
What's
difference
that?
between you and like that?
Exactly.
No. There's a
Exactly.
difference. Sorry,
That's
my friend.
why
There's
I'm
a
even
difference
more in
here.
danger of ending
We're
up with
not all
someone
the
like
same.
that.
No,
Right?
we're
So
not all
that
the
so that's my that's my reasons, and I right now I look back on it and I think that's awful. What a terrible thing to bring 3 people into the world to have to contend with this insanity that we have created, or that has been created, and put them through all this just because everyone else was doing it and because I find little kids are
Do you ever
cute.
tell them you wish
I mean,
you never
if
had
I
Do you ever tell them you wish you never had them?
I don't tell them I wish I never had them. I tell them that I feel that it was completely
It
irresponsible.
sounds like that.
Yeah, I kind of tell them that. Yeah,
Yeah, you kind of tell them
Yeah,
that.
I do tell them
Do you think
that.
that builds them up?
No, I don't think it's. I don't think
Does
they
it bother you?
I don't. It doesn't bother me, and it doesn't bother them. Right?
How do you know?
It doesn't. Well, I don't know. Right?
They
I
probably
don't
not taking
know.
you
I
seriously
don't
for
know. But the thing is, I make it very, very clear. It's nothing to do with them. What I'm saying is I'm radically appreciative of the fact that I got really, really lucky. But I might not have. They could have been seriously ill. They could have had terrible mental illness.
no,
They
but
could have
no.
committed suicide.
Yeah, but that's
They could have
negative.
ended up. I mean, there's 101 things that could have happened to them,
Yeah,
right?
but they're not.
And I took a risk.
They're not.
Well, I think that is highly immoral to take a risk with somebody else's freaking life. If at least you really think that you're going to be a good parent, which I would really question, right? Because it's unlikely, because nobody is, right? But if you think you're going to be a good parent, then why don't you adopt a child, right? And at least when you adopt a child, you can actually make sure you can choose from a catalogue. You can actually choose and make sure that they don't have certain.
I had the choice to choose to be born or not, with all the risk involved. I
Yeah.
would choose to live.
So what? So what? That's just you. There are lots of people who wouldn't choose to live. And your parents took a risk with your life. And that to me, it's just,
My parents should risk it. I said if
I know, and your parents did. Your parents took a risk by having you. Yeah? And they took a risk, and you're the one that had to pay for it.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
I didn't want to interrupt. The fact is, what you said really as someone who's attempted suicide in the past, you're saying that many people don't want to live and don't want to exist. I'm coming from that perspective saying, well, that was wrong to think that because I don't know what's after death and I'd rather appreciate what I have now. So I think that what you're saying is false. But I think that I initially thought that what you were talking about was thank you for not bringing this in, that we are an overpopulated society.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask the question.
Yeah.
Do you think that if we take a break from not having children for 10 years, 20 years per se,
Yeah.
will we then start to have children again? So there's no longer an overpopulation.
I mean, as I said to you, as of yet, I haven't heard a decent reason why anyone would have children. Why would you have children?
I would have
Why
children
would you?
because I like kids. I have a little sister.
You like
and
kids?
I really like her.
Okay.
I feel that we are kind of socially conditioned and biologically conditioned to want to reproduce.
Yes.
In that sense, and also want to care for the younger people. If you, for example, are a person who didn't maybe achieve everything that you wanted to achieve in your life, you
Yeah.
can still have a child, and you can be a very good parent and make sure that your child is achieving a lot more than you did. And also, that's a way more of an achievement to many people than say, for me it would be directing the film. I want to be a director. So doing that, if I don't become a director, I can have a child and they become a director, and I would feel success of at least creating that, at least doing that. If I had a successful child,
Okay, slow down. Okay, you're saying a lot and you're saying it very fast.
I gave you.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Thank you.
No, it's fine. I don't mind. I'm just trying to slow you down so that I can relate to what you're saying, because I've now forgotten what you said at the beginning, right?
So I would go back to the beginning.
Okay.
Well, there's a psychological, social conditioning, and biological.
No, hold on. You started. No, we're going to start. I remember what you first. The first thing you said is he likes kids, right?
Are you going to quote me out of context and tell me?
No, you said you like kids.
Yeah, you're going to quote me out of context and call me a pedophile or something.
No, God forbid. Don't be silly. I love kids too, right? I love young kids. They're gorgeous, right? But so no. What I'm saying to you is that the fact that you like kids, yeah, that if you like kids, then you can go and work in a school, right, and hang around children and have influence on them in that way, rather than bringing one of your own into the world. Why do you need to bring someone of you into the world, number one. Number two, by bringing someone into the world, yeah, you are then also going to be, the chances are that your child is going to have obviously your child's going to have part of your genetic makeup,
Yes.
which means that there's a chance that they're going to have some of the defective DNA that you have. We all have defective DNA. None of us are perfect. And the defective DNA that your partner has. So you're bringing a child into the world for what? Just if you're saying you bring because you like kids, number one, you can hang around kids as much as you like by doing it as your job or whatever it is. You can find ways to hang around, or you can, or for example, you can help your friends and family if they've got children. Like for example, I know someone, a middle-aged woman. Yeah, it's a friend of mine. She never got married. She never had children. But she helped her close friend who got 2 young children. She goes round there once every couple of weeks, looks after them, they go out, they're delightful, happy. She hangs out with them for a few hours, and she's had enough, she gives them back. She's helped the children, she's hung out with children. She hasn't brought any more children into the world. If you like children, then spend your time with them.
Yes.
Right, that's number one. Number two, I also like children, which is why I had 3. Yeah, I love little children. They're gorgeous, right? But they grow up. They grow up. They grow up into people like you lot, right? What's that?
Why are you saying thank you for not breeding if you've got 3 children?
Why?
That means you're a hypocrite. You're saying thank you for not breeding, but
Yeah.
you've got 3 kids.
Yeah.
So shut the fuck up. You're lying. You're chatting shit. You're a hypocrite.
Right.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're saying thank you for not breeding.
No, it's not.
So put your
It's
thing down and
selfish.
stop chatting shit.
Put your thing down.
Put it down.
Now you see, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why this subject is so emotive, right? It's so emotive because all of us were born, right? All of us have parents. So by saying this, I'm kind of implying that our parents were responsible. And then there's people who have children themselves, yeah, that also is very, very emotive because get really, really upset by this. Okay. Now, again, I want to share with you the most important technique that I have as a public speaker, which I use when I get kind of an aggressive kind of question like that, which is again, you see that kind of thing, right? It's really, really powerful, and this is the most important and useful technique that you can take into your lives, and which I use in my life, and that is simply to just shut my eyes and count to 30 or 60 and see what happens.
Stop lying.
Alright, so I'm going to try...
69.
Alright, fair enough.
Wear a condom. 69, wear a condom.
But you still haven't answered a few of my questions, mate, because I got rudely interrupted.
They're even more dumb if they listen to
So for a start, as someone who...
I'll come back to it. So you see that? By the way, it's an incredible technique. Did you see that, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's a really, really powerful technique, and I really, really recommend you use this in your life. Nothing to do with kids or not kids, yeah? I don't always speak about this subject, but it's a really powerful technique.
Okay.
Your question, your points were good. So you started off by saying you like kids. I'm objecting by saying they grow up.
Yeah.
They grow up,
Yeah.
and you can hang out with children if you like children. That's number one.
Of course they grow up,
right?
but that's not the issue with it.
No, but that's therefore, because the fact that you like young children does not mean that it's that you should have them of your own.
Of course.
By the way, and another thing is, that I think you'll find that many parents, once they have children, actually don't like spending a lot of time with their children because they're, how much time? Let me ask you a question. How much time now do you spend with 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 1-year-olds?
I have a little sister.
Okay, how old is she?
She's 11, and I spend basically all the time. She's here.
Okay,
in
fine.
with me.
Okay, she's your sister. But I'm saying, how much time do you spend with 3-year-olds?
I would say that I spend a decent amount of time with it. Decent amount of time. I babysit. Quite often.
So how often? How often?
About once a week.
Okay, so once a week you spend a little time with 3-year-olds
Yes,
when they're
I babysit.
sleeping.
No, I have to. They're awake when I first
Okay,
go
so
there.
they're awake. So
Yeah.
you may most adults. I'm guessing, right? This is not a scientific thing. This is just a guess. Most adults, like spending time, or who like spending time with children. Some don't. Yeah, they don't like spending hours and hours and hours with children because children have got a different mentality, and after a while it gets a bit much.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't even. It's not even true that we like children. We like spending time with children, and so many parents can't wait till their children go to bed. Right. Wait to send their children to school, send them to playgroup. Most of the time they're not even with them. Right? So that's another objection to your thing about liking children, right?
Well, you say most.
Your
I think
next
that's a bit
objection, my next objection to your point, right, is that you should have is that by having children, you're suggesting that that's a way of you sort of fulfilling the things that you never fulfilled in your life yourself. That's an awful thing to bring a child into the world. So to try and clear up the mess because you didn't manage to do because you didn't manage to fulfill some goals in your life, right? And I'm thank you for sharing with me that you've attempted to commit suicide, right? I think that's really brave of you to admit that.
But I find it quite offensive when you say, "Oh, many people don't find life worth living," and I say, as someone who did not find worth living, I would say, "Well, it's fucking stupid to not do to think that." So I think that's a completely stupid thing for you to say.
Why?
Because you're saying that those people are entitled to believe that their life is not worth living, and I'd say, no, you're not entitled to. As someone who did believe that, no, you're not entitled to believe that because you're wrong.
Why? What do you mean you're wrong?
I was wrong.
Who says you were wrong or right? It's just a way of looking at things.
No, it's a negative way of looking at things that's eventually going to end your life, and I don't know what's going to happen. For all I know, it's like going to sleep but never waking up. That's how I imagine death to be, and so I can't imagine any well-adjusted human being wanting that.
Well, that depends how you define well-adjusted.
Well-adjusted is in they're able to fit in to able to live a happy, productive life.
Well, there are lots and lots of suicide is the biggest killer of men between age 15 and 40, I think, something like that, in the UK, right?
Yeah.
So there are lots and lots of people who feel that like they don't want to live their life for whatever reason. Some of them have got mental health issues, some of them don't, some of them are very calculated and collected with it. And I'm saying that what I was saying is that if you take a risk of having a child, that child might be yours. And to have your own child commit suicide is a hugely traumatic thing to happen.
I know, but it's unfortunately sometimes you've got to take that risk.
Well, why? Why would you take that risk?
Because, all right,
What if you got
it's
What's that?
You risk coming all the way here. What if
That's
you
a good
got
point.
You're right. You're
Stay
right.
at home.
You're right.
Don't do anything. Just stay in.
Well, you see, I'm now that I'm here, I don't believe in doing that. But I don't believe in taking a risk with somebody else's life. Now I realise I did with my 3 children. But I can't understand now, as I look at it now with my current understanding, I just cannot see why someone thinks it's okay to take a risk with somebody else's life.
You do realise
it's okay to take a risk with my own life. It's my own life.
You
but
do
not with
realise what
someone
you're
else's.
saying though is
Depriving other people of the chance of having a happy life. You're still doing the same thing.
I'm depriving other people the chance of having a happy life.
May I just say that you do realise what you're
saying.
saying is going to lead to the end of humanity.
So what?
Well, I don't want that to happen.
It's going to take
So
a
what?
bloody long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I know. Well, I'd rather it take a long time because I'd rather that would be the case.
Yeah. I wouldn't hold your breath.
Yeah, we do.
Exactly.
So you want one.
Isn't it natural for a man
No, I'd
to
rather...
Yes, nature conspires to get us to have children. It's a conspiracy of nature to keep on replicating itself, and this is the answer. What?
You're saying there's no God, but you're giving nature agency. Nature does. No, nature doesn't. It's all
of course
an
it does.
It's all an accident, and then we die.
Now, atheists can believe in nature and human biology, and I believe in that. I'm an atheist.
That's all right.
If you just answer the point, like, when did you come to the realisation of this? Before you had children?
Oh, after? No, only recently. Only recently. My children were all,
That helps, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's only recent, yeah.
That helps the argument. When he's shouting...
And again, I just want to repeat that I am, when I remember, I have the most amazing life. I am incredibly lucky. Incredibly lucky, yeah? But most people are nowhere near as lucky as I am, yeah? So I am appreciative of that. Well, okay, whatever. I'm very appreciative of the fortune that I have, right? And at the same time, I still think that I still have not had someone come with a good reason to have children.
I think we can all agree you've got a point, as in don't have 20 children.
Don't have any.
Right? Well, no.
Don't risk anything.
Have you any grandchildren?
No.
Ellie, you're okay, do you remember that?
Have your kids have...
But so why are you? But why are you not concerned with the death of humanity?
What?
How you can't go away from the fact that if you believe that humans should not have any more children, you can't get past the fact that you are also saying that I am allowing for the human society, the culture that we have built over thousands and thousands and thousands of years,
Billions,
no, not billions, thousands of years to die. Just
Yeah.
die. Go
What's
away.
wrong with
People
that?
aren't going to start
What's
killing
wrong?
themselves because
Sorry?
he's just
What,
told them to.
that's not. Firstly, that's not going to happen, right?
Well, no. If we have
Unfortunately, that's not going to happen.
if we have
right?
no kids, then
People
yes.
are going to carry on being stupid, selfish, and having children. They're going to carry on.
Big up
yeah?
selfishness.
Yes, I know, but that's besides the point, though. I'm saying in your hypothetical world.
Yeah.
I'm talking about your hypothetical world where everyone agrees with you.
But okay, I'm
having
happy
kids.
to play around with the hypothetical, but the hypotheticals are pretty
not gonna
irrelevant.
happen, mate.
It's not going to
I know,
happen.
then
But
why-
even if it did, so what? What's wrong with this? What's the point of this
You
society?
think everybody's going to watch
What's the flipping
YouTube,
point?
see him on YouTube, and then they'll go, yes, let's all kill ourselves. They're all going to
No,
rush out and
absolutely
throw
not.
themselves
But
in
if
the river.
absolutely not. But
not
if
gonna
he
happen.
doesn't,
Well, maybe we will.
absolutely not. But if he doesn't, but there's no point
If he tells
preaching
us to,
something that
I'm-
if you
I'm
don't,
up for it.
there's no point preaching something if you don't genuinely want people to follow in your footsteps. There's no point going down here and saying, but no one here should have kids if
There's
you
no
don't think
point
that's
to
the best
anything,
way.
my friend. I do this because I enjoy doing it.
Absolutely,
There's
that's
no
fine.
point to anything. This
no
whole
point in But in that case,
this
you
whole
just
thing
need-
is pointless.
But in that case, in that case, you just. But in that case, you just admit.
Well, I might as well, but I don't want
Yeah, I
to.
know.
So I'm not going to.
I know.
Why don't you?
No, I'm fine. But in that case, you just
Because I
admitted to
don't-
being
Because number one, I have an amazing life,
Yeah.
and number
No,
two, because
you
I have a
just
lot of people
admitted-
around me that would be really,
Mate,
really
you just
hurt and upset.
yeah,
if
no.
I didn't.
I was about
So
to say
don't wanna do
that. You just admitted that you don't actually believe in what you're preaching,
Why is that?
and you admitted that you're being contentious.
Why do I admit?
Because if you're saying that you know people aren't going to follow you, and if you're saying that we might as well not follow you, then how can we be convinced that you're?
I don't care if you follow me or not. I'm
Then
here
why
to
you-
talk about this subject in Speaker's Corner, where it's a place of freedom of speech.
Yes, absolutely.
To provoke people.
So you admit it. So you admit it, though. don't you?
Actually, I have actually started.
money off his
I
videos.
am actually
Yeah.
on the button.
And he's allowed to do that.
Around.
Of course he is. Yeah.
Not a death
And he's
cult.
winding you up.
Yeah, no, I know.
Nothing, nothing is cult.
Yeah.
Nothing cult.
So you found a purpose for yourself to live, to come here and to talk to us. That's one of the purposes for your life, we can say.
Is it a
But then-
purpose for my life?
but
I'm not
then-
sure I'd call it a purpose. It's just that I enjoy doing it.
And you enjoy doing okay.
I
is it
enjoy provoking
A leisure
people.
activity.
I enjoy provoking people to think about things in a different way than most of us think.
And you enjoy
And
getting
most
this
of us
guy
have
to
been
film you,
brainwashed and conditioned to think. And this is, this is one of the subjects that I like provoking people to thinking about. And if I can save one unborn child from not being born, then I've done something
What
great.
if the point in life is to do the things you like?
What? Not even one?
No,
All right,
Not even
you're right. There is no
Sorry,
purpose to life, but the fact there is no purpose to life. The only purpose in
Maybe,
life is what we
maybe.
make of it, the
Yeah.
goals we set. So
What?
we can say that there is purpose in life by the goals that we set ourselves. If you set yourself no goals, you're never going to have any purpose in life, and that's just that. But if you set yourself goals, then you're going to have purpose. Your purpose in life is what you choose to be your purpose.
Do you choose to come here?
Yes, that is your purpose.
That's my purpose.
But if
Yes.
your purpose is to kill loads of people or to sort of just...
To enlighten us.
That is.
No, if your
What about
purpose is bad, what do you
depopulation?
say about that?
Depopulation.
If your purpose is bad, then we are going to make someone else's purpose is going to
one
be to
was?
stop you.
The Georgia Guidestones.
No, I haven't heard that.
Yes.
Aren't there like a new set of commandments, like in America somewhere, they were set up in the 80s?
I do think,
And one of them,
I do
like,
think
90%
that we
depopulation.
should be educating people to think very, very carefully before they have children. That I do think.
Critical
I
thinking
think
in
people
general.
should have to get a license really to have children, in my opinion.
You know if there's like a bubble?
Yeah. If
You,
you
get a
Google
license you have to get a license to drive a car, and you surely
Is there
should
like
have to
a
get a
bubble
license to
around
have a
here?
child.
It's called a birth certificate.
I'm from Australia.
That's not a license.
It is. Of course it
If
is.
you Google had the Georgia Guidestones, the state of Georgia Guidestones, Georgia
I
Guidestones.
don't live in London. I came to London just to see this.
Can you imagine living next door to this guy? Can you imagine if you were his neighbour? Where's your microphone? Where's your...
Megaphone.
Yeah.
My
You
bike.
didn't answer my question, by the way.
Imagine having him for a dad.
Well,
You didn't answer my question,
what
by
can
the
you
way.
say? What can you say?
Sorry?
You didn't answer
can
my
you
question.
say?
Why
one?
deprive? Sorry.
Go on.
I'll talk to you.
Go on, mate. Go on.
Why deprive people
He has a
of
very
the
deep,
chance of
he has a
having
very
children?
deep monotonous voice. Like that.
Okay,
You
so
could
there's
say
there's a philosopher who's
socialism is
written
the
up
way
online,
forward.
his name is David Benatar.
I'm not the speaker, brother. This guy is.
What he says is that
We're chatting to each other.
That's a real Danny Shine.
This is
depriving,
This is Danny
that
Shine,
stopping
the one
pain,
and only.
preventing pain and suffering, it's not equivalent. There's no equivalence between preventing pain and suffering and preventing pleasure. Yeah. So in other words, if you choose not to have a child, then you are preventing suffering. Yeah. But you're also preventing pleasure. But the pleasure you're preventing is not going to be experienced by anybody. So it's not relevant. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What if?
But you are preventing suffering, and that is relevant, because if you do have that child is going to suffer, one way or another.
I've got a child. Excuse me. I got it in Stoke Newington with a Norwegian woman. She's quite old now. Yeah, no. 30.
What, your child?
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw her?
15 years ago.
Wow.
I just thought I'd mention that, ladies and
Okay,
gentlemen.
thank you.
I see my child every day.
I can't-
Every single day. And I have done since he's been born.
I haven't done it.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 28 now. And we're playing the same rugby team together.
Nice.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why would I not want him to be here in
I
this world?
never said you would not want him to be here. Hello.
What I'm amazed at is how you've gone from talking about retail to talking about something that's
That's what?
important to everyone. Really, really important.
What, this?
Yeah.
It is important.
Yeah.
It's more important than retail.
Absolutely. So what's made you make that decision to go from retail to thank you for not having thank you for not breeding? What's happened to you in your life to make you?
I tell you what's happened. It's actually, that's a good question actually. How I ended. Okay, so I would say the first thing that led me to this was veganism.
Oh no.
Yeah. So once I became vegan, people then asked me, but there's so much suffering in the world. Yeah. Why are you so concerned about okay, so well done, you're not having meat, and but what about all the other suffering, and what about all the animals killing all the other animals, and what about so what? Yeah. So that's what they are. And then I sort of through that I kind of came across antinatalism, which is a term coined by David Benatar, which has been and it's an idea that's been around for thousands of years. In the fringes, which is the idea that it's morally questionable to bring children into the world. And then I came across ethylism, which is an even more radical view, which basically says that life itself, ethylism is life spelled backwards, and the guy who coined that phrase claims that life itself is fundamentally flawed, right? And that we shouldn't be bringing more life into the world, and that we should do whatever we can to reduce suffering. He himself is vegan, and so that's how I kind of came across it all. And it kind of basically what I kind of again I developed my ideas. Tomorrow I might not be speaking about this. Someone might have convinced me otherwise. Yeah, it's a really really unpopular view. This view. It's very 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 unpopular. It's very it really rubs people up the wrong way because it touches on their very people are we're brought up to think everyone's got a right to have children, and to think that. But actually, when you ask, I've been asking people why their parents had them. A lot of them it was a mistake. They were bored. Everyone else was doing. I mean,
and then there's the flip side of that. There are people who organised it properly. They wanted to have children. They loved the idea of having children. They did it the right way, and they still love their children.
My parents
and they are
my
still in
parents.
contact with their children.
Absolutely.
And they play rugby with their children in the same rugby team. So it's not all the dark side, is it?
It's true.
Let's
That's true.
see the light.
Okay.
Let's see the positive side.
Okay,
of it.
I agree with that. And what I would say to that is thank you for reminding and bringing it up. It's beautiful, and I see my children.
By the way, I do agree with you. Suffering is a bad thing in any shape or form. I really do agree with that, and it's wonderful to meet you. By the way,
nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
So I appreciate your input, and as I've said already, if you were here, that I'm very much into the idea of paradoxically standing from a point of view of radical appreciation and radical pessimism, right?
You're a radical, are you? You
Whatever.
a radical.
Well, whatever. Everyone. I mean, I'm not radical in my own mind. I think just my ideas just make sense to me, right?
Yeah.
But compared to other people, I'm kind of really into the idea of holding a position of appreciation, and that's why I like you reminding me that you're right. Of course, there is a light side to this, yeah. But the problem is that there's very few people speaking about the problem side of breeding, and there's just millions, 350,000 children are born every single day, and many of the parents who have them do not have many of the attributes that they should have for doing it.
So
many
how
of
do
them
we make sure that these children who are being born are being looked after properly and
Well,
taken care of?
I actually
Should
have
that
should
Well, I think that money and time and effort. I think money and time and effort should be spent on preventing them being born in the first place. That's what I think.
And you're taking it.
What's that? Yes. Yeah, select few.
Well, there's
Yeah.
never going to be.
I mean, who decides what the select few are? I don't know.
Well, see, the
I don't really
government
care. I don't really care because the people who choose to have children are creating for themselves a huge burden. So it's
So
like,
let's say you get
I don't know
your
why
way.
they want to fight about it.
You get your way. How do you police it?
I'm not here to speak about this is what do you mean that you get your way? I'm not going to get my way. It doesn't work like that.
That's why you're here.
No,
Thank you
I'm
for
not here to get my
breeding.
way. I'm here to get people to think and maybe to challenge, and maybe one or two people might choose to think twice or think again or not have children. And also, I'll tell you another reason why I'm here is to give solace and to give comfort to those people who've made a choice not to have children, because in our society, in many parts of our society, people who don't have children are looked down upon. They're pitied. Oh, you poor soul, you have children, right?
They can be looking upon as weird
Say to you
or odd.
He disagrees with you quite simply because he wouldn't like to have that choice taken away from him because I have experience with it now. So you would essentially be taking that away from me.
From you or from
From
him?
me? Well, both of us.
Well, I'm not necessarily saying it needs to
You're
be
taking away the
enforced.
experience that I'm having as a father with my child, and his experience as a child with his father.
Well, I'm not taking it away now that you've done it. I'm just questioning whether it should be done in the first place. Now, it could be that
So you're not saying it should be done. You're saying it has to be done. It should be done.
I'm not saying that I think it should be enforced on everyone. I don't know how that would work. What I'm saying is that I think that people should be educated to really question that choice. It's a huge responsibility.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
And there's certain things that really one should consider are in place. Where, like, for example, have you got a good relationship with the person you're doing it with? Have you got enough money to do it with in this world, so that the child can have a good chance of living a really good life?
So it's all about economics, then. That's what it boils down to.
Not just about economics, but sometimes.
Just one more thing. Just one more thing.
What's that?
I think there should be a parental license for first-time parents to be able to say, are you ready to have this child? And if not, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to keep it.
Yeah, and also I think they should use technology so that people should have an experience of having a childlike experience. So if you want to have a child, you should be able to download an app, a baby app, so that it wakes you up in the middle of the night.
The crying wakes you up. Hey,
screaming at you, rude.
Coming home from nights, leaning against the wall, rocking the boy to sleep. Who needs a hat? It's a natural thing that you do. Are you saying to me, brother, that you now regret having your children?
No, I don't really think of it like that.
What do you think? I'm amazed that you're saying things like this, brother.
No,
I'm amazed.
No, it's not. I don't really look at life like that. Whatever is whatever is meant to be.
Yeah.
But I think that it's hugely questionable. I think there are huge questions that we are not asking. We're not asking ourselves, and we're not facing before we have children. That's what I think.
You're trying to change their views on having children. Why they should have children.
Trying to get people to think a bit more deeply and carefully about having children.
Yeah.
It works.
Because it's the source of all the world's problems.
Well, that's a massive statement. That's a massive
Well,
statement.
maybe not all the world's problems, but a lot of them.
Yeah. Well,
I got it in.
I didn't expect to see you here today. It's good to see you. I've watched a couple of your videos. I like what you're saying there. You know, you've given that up now.
No, I haven't. I'm back on it.
You're back on it.
Yeah,
That's great. Yeah. Now that's more important to me than this. So what are you going to come up with next week?
Who knows?